Hello, Serge here from the backyard driving range. All right, we're going to talk about a really important pinpointer today, and again, it's going to be on alignment. I can get on these tracks about alignment because there's so much more. I almost think sometimes I can't say enough about alignment. Today's going to be very unusual, and again, I do these and I do this in private lessons and at golf schools. But depending on how the school's going, this takes a little bit of time to do. But I do it, fairly often, and this is going to be another thing that's really important. Now, you know that I all like you to swing to the target, recoil, relax, and the club should be at the target. Your nose, your chest, your belt buckle, your back knee should be pointing at the target, and then your club should be pointing at it straight up and down. Well, why would we call that important? Well, because if you've played any sports in your life, what sport have you ever been taught to not finish at your target? I mean, when I coached Little League Baseball, the first thing I taught the kids was when you throw a ball, you've got to throw and finish at your target. I mean, they teach you in tennis to serve and swing straight through at your target. In pool, they teach you to go straight through at your target. I'm sure I've never shot darts, but I don't think they tell you to shoot a dart like this, because if they are, I don't think anybody wants to be standing on a couple feet to the side of the board, right? Everything is straight through, right? But here we are. Golf says, there's my target, the camera, finish over there. As I said in my very first video I ever made in 1992, I think it was, Golf Plain and Simple, Straight Golf, I said, did God give golfers a dispensation to play by their own set of rules? I don't think so. So, today we're going to talk about target awareness. So I have a test, a drill or a test, whatever you want to call it, TAT, Target Awareness Test. And that sounds really simple, doesn't it? Oh yeah, I know my target's right there. It's the flag, or it's right there in the dead center of the fairway. All right? Well, here's what the target awareness test is. And what I do as students, when I give them one of these, I have them set up to the ball. I have them look at the target as many times as they want. In the meantime, I'm going to be standing right in their way, right here. When they finally say, okay, and their head comes back to the ball for the first time, I'm standing right in front of them where they can't see the target anymore. And I said, I want you to keep your head right here. I want you to lift your hand up and point it at the target. And then just turn your head up and look and see if you're pointing at the target. Right now, I am dead nuts pointing right at the center of my camera. It's got a red light on it. I was pointing about that far, dead below the light. Why is this important? Because if you don't know where the target is, remember, in baseball or any of those sports, you're turning to your target just like we are. But again, your brain has to have a good concept of where the target is, so it knows where to stop turning and where to throw and release the hand that's holding the ball to throw it, or the tennis racket, or the ping pong paddle, or the pool stick, or whatever, the dart. It's got to know where it is. And I can't tell you how many times I've had people stand here and they point way out there, but most often, because most people aim right, they're pointing way out here. Why? Because if you're aiming way to the right, your target is, by your vision and the picture on your brain, is behind you, and they're over here pointing like this. I got people missing that. They point 40, 50 yards to the left. And these aren't slices. Slices tend to point more that way, because why? They're hitting the ball that way. But the point is I can count them on one hand, the people that get close enough where a hand grenade still would have hit the target, exploded towards the target. And how can you actually know where to finish and make a good tee finish with a recoil or relax at the target if in your mind, when you're standing here and the picture of that big TV screen or movie screen in the back of your head, that's where your all your senses are, and creates the vision in your mind and the feel. Because as we say, make a good practice swing, field to field, and set up and swing the field. How can you make a good swing to the target if in your brain, in that picture up there, you don't know where the target is? All right? So let's do some target awareness tests. And heck, you can do that right here, just standing in your backyard, in your house. Just stand up there and make a target, something on the wall, and just stand up there and do it. And remember, where's the target? It's supposed to be in front of you. Everybody's hand's going up like this. My hand comes up a little bit in front of me. You just turn your head straight up and your pointer finger, and I always do it, make like I'm shooting a gun, a pistol. So I use my pointer finger, and boom, I should be with both eyes open. I do it with both eyes open. I don't, because if you check it with one eye or the other, your hand could bebop back and forth as much as a foot off line, and a foot off line at this camera 20 feet from me at a 7-iron out there, 150 yards, will now be 10 or 15 yards offline. So you got to look at it with both eyes open, okay? So let's do some target awareness tests, all right? Got to know where the target is if you want to swing to it and finish square to it, to hit balls right at it. I think I'll close on that one. That sounded like a really good statement. All right, well, that's it for the search for today on let's know where the target is so we know where to swing. That's it for today, and I'll be talking with you all again soon.